Sichuan-Tibet highway stretches for more than 2,000 kilometers, 1,242.74 miles, from Chengdu in China to Lhasa in Tibet. It traverses some of the most treacherous terrain on Earth. Much of the highway is single-lane with vast muddy, unpaved stretches. Drivers must be cautious as the extreme altitude means there is 50% less oxygen in the air than at sea level. Falling boulders and landslides are common and drivers need to be prepared to spend hours stuck in traffic jams that are up to 1,000 cars deep. If that's not enough to contend with, fights regularly break out amongst the frustrated motorists and theft is common. There has even been several kidnappings reported along this treacherous stretch of road. Despite being often recognized as one of the most scenic roads in the world, the Atlantic Highway can be very dangerous. Opened on 7 July 1989, the highway connects a series of small islands via 8 bridges in Idun-Devrienmore og Romsdal, Norway. The unpredictable dips and turns of the highway can be difficult to navigate for an inexperienced driver, especially during storms. Dangerously high winds can batter cars around as violent waves crash over the sides of the bridges, reducing visibility to near zero. One false move and you could end up at the bottom of the Norwegian Sea. The Stelvio Pass in northern Italy is the second highest mountain pass in the Alps and has 75 hairpin turns. Fail to brake in time and you could end up tumbling down the ridge. During the 1990s, famous British Formula One racing driver Stirling Moss lost control of his car and skidded off the road during a vintage car event. Known locally as Los Caracoles or Snail's Pass, the Paso Internacional Los Libertadores, is a very dangerous road. It connects the Chilean capital Santiago with Mendoza City in Argentina and winds precariously through the Andes mountain range. The road is notoriously slow at peak times due to heavy congestion and the difficult hairpin turns. Ice and snow makes the road slippery and there is constant threat of rockfall. The James Dalton Highway was built in 1974 as a supply road to the Trans-Alaska Pipeline System. Featured on the television series Ice Road Truckers, this is truly one of the world's most dangerous roads. Fuel stops are scarce and there are only 3 towns along the route with less than 30 residents in each. Truckers are advised to carry their own medical supplies and survival gear as a breakdown in this sparsely populated area could be disastrous. Drivers are even warned to be on alert for hungry polar bears that have been known to attack humans whilst wandering along the highway. The Nanga Parbat Pass begins on the Karakoram Highway in Pakistan and ends in the Nanga Parbat Mountains. The highway is known locally as Fairy Meadows Road because it leads to a picturesque national park high in the hills. Don't let the name fool you, however. This road is dangerous. Very dangerous. It is largely unpaved and has no guardrails to prevent traffic from falling off the sheer cliff faces. The road sees plenty of traffic but is no wider than a single car in many places, making passing very difficult. Ice makes the road slippery and drivers must also avoid heavy snowfalls and avalanches. The Kabul-Jalalabad Highway in Afghanistan is a 143-kilometer stretch of road that runs right through an area occupied by the Taliban. Much of the surface is very poor. Gigantic potholes litter the narrow road that winds its way alongside sheer cliff faces with little to no guardrails. The highway is notorious for crashes as local drivers impatiently overtake loaded trucks, often around dangerous corners. Many plummet to their doom when they lose control of their vehicle, a combination of excessive speed and terrible road conditions. The Guoliang Road in the Henan province of China is carved through the ultra-edge of the Taihang Mountains. The construction of this perilous road began in 1972 in an effort to create access to the isolated village of Guoliang. Using only hammers and chisels, 13 villagers slowly etched their way through the steep cliff face, sometimes taking 3 days just to carve out 1 meter, 3.28 feet. Originally built to accommodate the locals, the road now sees heavy traffic as the town has become a popular tourist attraction. Large buses share the narrow road with cars and pedestrians alike. If a bus failed to brake in time, it could plow through hundreds of holidaymakers and plummet into the ravine below. Karakoram Highway in Pakistan is one of the highest paved roads in the world. It is often referred to as the eighth wonder of the world because it was so difficult and dangerous to construct. The highway, which links Pakistan to China, is known for its uneven and slippery surface. In 2010, the highway was closed after a massive landslide destroyed part of the road and dammed off a section of the surrounding land. Monsoon rains quickly filled the area with water, creating a lake 22 kilometers in length and 100 meters in depth in less than 1 week. The water eventually overflowed, destroying parts of several nearby villages. Also known as the Road of Death, the North Yungas Road in Bolivia is one of the most dangerous roads in the world. It is estimated that it claims the lives of as many as 300 travelers every year. The road, which winds its way around some of the most treacherous mountains in the Yungas region of Bolivia, is mostly single-lane and has very few guardrails. Make one false move and you risk tumbling down cliffs that are up to 600 meters high. Extreme weather conditions make the road even more dangerous as heavy rain, fog and dust severely affect visibility. Local rules dictate that the downhill driver never has right-of-way and must move to the outer edge of the road to allow oncoming traffic to pass. Because the road is so narrow, traffic must drive on the left-hand side, the opposite side to the rest of Bolivia, so the driver can see how close the wheels of their vehicle are to the edge of the cliff.